Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finale of the Ratchet Clank Marathon. This time it's the last game to come out before the Future series started, so I figured it'd be an appropriate place to stop. Today's episode is Ratchet Clank Size Matters for the PSP, or more accurately, Ratchet Clank Size Matters for the PS2. I no longer have a PSP, and I didn't bother buying the PS Vita store version of the PSP version, and so I downloaded the ISO file and played it on an emulator and quickly put it down since the control is not what I would like it to be since I was playing on a PS4 controller. So the PS2 version is what we had to go with, and hey, it has widescreen and progressive... Oh. Well, I figured I should say that for whatever reason, the PS2 version of this game is considered a bastardization of the PSP original. To be honest, I can't tell you much has changed from what my memory recalls of the PSP version, but still, the PSP version was considered a good game, and the PS2 version got less than stellar reviews for ugly graphics, technical issues, and high difficulty. You know, maybe one of these days I should try the PSP version of The Lost Frontier to see if it was any better than the PS2 version. That reminds me of the fact that this game was developed by the ex-Naughty Dog and Insomniac Games team entitled High Impact Games in the year 2007, and this was the company's first game, even though they were founded in 2003, so what they were doing all that time I have no idea. Currently, they went on to form Big Red Button, and I think everyone knows how that turned out. Anyway, I'm going to try to make this a quick review, since this game isn't one I have much to say on, and I'll get it out of the way now. It didn't leave much of an impression on me. And again, anybody who is a fan of the PSP version and believes that my arguments are inaccurate, I will again remind that this is a review of the PS2 version only. Story-wise, Ratchet is tired of the hero stuff and wants a break, and Clank is along for the ride until a girl shows up wanting pictures of them for a school project. And then they meet Quark, who is looking for his family. Suddenly, the girl named Luna is captured by the Technomites, and Ratchet is quick to assume otherwise, even though they were literally right just there.
There are no Technomites!
Ratchet and Clank try to rescue Luna, but she is a Technomite, and Ratchet is captured and experimented upon for his DNA, so the Technomites can make Ratchet clones. Ratchet and Clank fight Luna and find the Technomite leader auto-destruct and defeat him. Or not, since this is an extremely bullshit final boss. And in the game, with Quark being fulfilled that he knows his parents exist, Ratchet and Clank go back to relaxing, and that's pretty much it. The story does have a few surprise twists here and there, like how I wasn't expecting Luna to be a villain, but the rest of it just leaves no impact on me. Like how little of an impact Quark's subplot has in the game, or how Ratchet is suddenly back to his old personality and I don't know why. But if I'm being perfectly honest, I can't be bothered to get interested since the story has never left an impact on me. I mean, it kept me interested enough in my first time, and it was pretty unusual for Ratchet standards, but I just plowed through this game, not particularly fazed by anything that happened. The audio quality is just as poor as it was in The Lost Frontier. I know that these were PSP ports, but when you play through a whole series, you just get used to the good audio quality. I can't help but find it distracting in this game.
Excuse me, Captain, but we have more pressing issues. We urgently need your assistance.
Clank?
Yes?
Do you notice anything unusual about Captain Quark? There she is! Let's get her!
Ratchet, do you notice anything unusual about Luna?
The soundtrack is also next to non-existent for me, so I can't even spend time talking about that either. And yes, the PS2 version of this game is ugly, and I mean really ugly. I don't even know what's to blame for that, the port to the PS2 or the game actually being ugly to begin with. The gameplay in this game is not bad at all. It's no Lost Frontier, but it's very uninspired to me with a weak roster of weapons, all of which need to be upgraded to survive the final boss, which sucks since many of them are not fun to use. Features that have been in place like multiple quick select rings and alternate control styles are gone, which is a shame since they were more or less series staples at this point. The best thing about this game, however, is the new armor system. I love how this works. Basically, instead of having to pay for new armors, you find pieces of it in the levels and you can mix and match the pieces for special features and damage reduction. I wish more Ratchet games had this, to be honest. Weapons now have a maximum level of 4, and your health has a maximum level of 50. And there are no arena battles other than these awful Clank minigames with confusing objectives and low rewards. Giant Clank has space levels this time around, and it's not that bad to play, but it drags on for a pretty long time. And Clank has one section with the gadget bots in the entire game. It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect up to this point. Ratchet can also ride a hoverboard, which is okay I guess, but nothing so amazing that I can spend a lot of time talking about it. This might seem the most half-assed review you've ever seen, but honestly, a lot of the features in this game is all stuff we've seen before, and if we haven't seen it, it kinda sucks like this plant watering gadget. Even the main concept of the game, the shrink ray, kinda sucks. All you use it for is to occasionally open locks in a grind rail sequence. But the number one thing the PS2 version of this game has going against it is by far the atrocious difficulty balancing. At the beginning, this game's pretty standard in the difficulty department, but my god, this game gets insane at the end. Even though I had the best armor I could find, I was still getting destroyed by these enemies in like 2 hits. I thought the original game was hard, but this game takes the cake. It all starts with the moon level, a pretty okay stage, but the boss at the end is ridiculous since we have this long-ass, boring chase scene followed by another one, and then we have to avoid rocks that can kill you in 2 hits, and then a boss that can do the same, and die once and you do it all over again. Then, we get a nearly unbeatable final boss since I die in 2 hits if I'm lucky, and if I'm not, then I die in 1. I was using the PDA to keep myself in the fight, but no matter what, I always run out of bullets, and therefore I can't buy ammo, so I either grind for more, or stop playing. And thankfully, I chose the latter of these options. I probably should have combined this with my Deadlocked review, but I didn't, and so we have a really short review. I feel like some other people could probably make a much more in-depth review of this game, and again, I didn't think this was terrible, it's just I couldn't find anything here worth going in-depth on, so here we are. There is a good game underneath the poor difficulty and lame weapon lineup and such, but overall, I didn't care for this game. But thankfully, the series didn't end here, since after this, Insomniac made even bigger and better games than what was displayed in this marathon. While this is my favorite series of all time, I did enjoy looking back on it in this marathon, but I'm definitely done with marathons for a while. So then, I think it's been long enough since the Sly 3 review. My editing skills are where I want them to be, so after 3.5 years, it is finally time to take a huge look at the next installment in the Sly Cooper series. I was going to do a classic Sonic marathon next, but I'm just going to do what people I know in real life and online want to see. So next up is my review of Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. It might be a while, so bear with me, but I hope you all enjoyed the Ratchet & Clank marathon, and I'll see you later.